All right, everybody, let's talk about last night on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Cynthia Bailey is doing what most proud mamas would do. She's sending her daughter off to college, and a prestigious one, Howard University, as a matter of fact. But as everybody's celebrating her going away party, Noelle, she's feeling the nerves. Take a listen.
Amazing, amazing Howard University.
I'm gonna go check on her in a minute because she wasn't really, I think it's all hitting her. I just can't do it.
Yes, you can. No, stop. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come. Stop. You can do this. Here. Listen to me. That this day would come where Noelle would have to fly out of the nest. I just have to make Noelle understand that she's going to be okay.
Oh, I want to give her a hug.
Felicia, what's wrong with you?
It's hilarious. Wait, and I'm laughing though, but I had the same moment. Here's what
What are
happened.
you laughing at, woman?
I just think it's just like an over dramatization.
You think it was for the cameras?
I get it. I don't know if it's for the cameras or not. So I didn't have any anxiety about going away until I was left standing in my dorm room alone, and my mom drove away, and my brother drove away in the car, and then I broke down crying, and it's like,
I know.
What? Where did this come from?
I was so ready to leave for college. I was like, I'm so over living in this small town. I'm going to the big city, which wasn't even that big of a city. But I was like, I couldn't wait to do it. And then as soon as I was there, I had a similar feeling where I was in my room oh my gosh, who am I going to eat with? Is someone going to invite me to a party? What's happening?
Rufio, were you cool as could be about this situation?
I never got the chance to really go to a university. I went to community college, so I was still living at home. But just more freedom of not being tied down from out of high school to going to community college. You're I could walk in when I want to. Oh, 10 o'clock class? Sure, no problem. You didn't have to wake up early, so I felt like there was more freedom involved in it. So I was more excited than anything.
Yeah, no, for me, it was that same moment. I was apprehensive the whole ride up. I was very close with my mother and father, close to my siblings. A lot of my friends were staying local in Ohio and Cincinnati, where I was from. So for me, as I was leaving, I could feel that pull away. And then when I got to campus and my parents left, I was pretty shook. I was pretty teary-eyed, not gonna lie. But then that weekend came along. I was playing basketball at Notre Dame. I was in some great shape. People knew who I was. I forgot to call my parents that weekend. I fed in real nicely at that point.
We've all had some different experiences, and you have to do what's best for you, period. But I will say, going away, it really is so beneficial to be away from home. Maybe you're an hour away, or maybe I was 12 hours away riding in the car. But it's just so good to get away. You just learn that independence. It's a little scary at first, but I recommend it.
Yeah, I feel like making yourself uncomfortable and taking that step is where you grow.
No question. All right, from going to college to getting married, everybody, there are plenty of milestones on last night's episode. The days are counting down to Eva's wedding, so she took Marlo and Nene to check out the dress.
Another thing, I need one little small request. I just want 10 pounds off.
Don't let her punk you out.
No,
Get her together.
We can run pound for pound, and she will still stay the snatches of the crew. She's already lost 30 pounds.
Okay.
And I had a baby yesterday.
Not yesterday, you did not.
13 weeks ago.
Oh.
Now, I'm going to take this one first because I think I'm not going to be in the majority on this one. I think it's kind of cool to have a friend like that. I mean, look, it was definitely out of pocket, but don't you want your friend to keep it real? I know I'm a little bit out of shape. I got to get into shape. So I'm going to take the proper steps starting tomorrow when 2019 hits. But I'd like my friend to say, hey, Jordan, man, you need to get on a treadmill. You need to do a little bit.
Not when she's trying on the dress, though.
I like it.
No,
Jordan.
I'm
you never need to tell your friend to lose weight. If they need to lose weight, they know. They don't need you to hear it, and that's not going to motivate them.
Yeah,
you know
that
what?
motivates.
Just be a
actually
supportive
okay.
friend.
Why are y'all yelling at me? I like what she said.
Yeah, but also it's different for you because every single day you say it about yourself, so you wouldn't care.
But not
Whereas
even that. What if
girls don't
but
say
you
that
guys-
about themselves? They just don't want to hear it.
True, but how about when I put on something, you guys, and all jokes aside, I enjoy this, you'd be like, don't wear that. Because it doesn't work for me, and I like somebody that's going to tell, I want the truth.
Listen,
That's style, though. That's
I'm
not
gonna
your
be there
body.
on your wedding day. I'm gonna be in the room when you're trying on your suit. Be like, you should have lost 3 more pounds, homie.
But
Listen, you guys are forgetting.
I want it.
Savage! You are not invited to my wedding.
You guys are forgetting two things, okay? She just had a baby. That's something you all will never be able to do.
That's
okay?
different. You're right.
13 weeks after having a child.
True.
This isn't a year later. This is 13 weeks.
It took 9 months to grow that baby.
Her uterus is still science. Like, this is science. Her uterus is still shrinking. Like, 13
we went
weeks.
to science.
Yeah,
it is. It's
science.
Science
So
don't need to be in
that's
this
one
argument.
thing. And then also trying on the dress, that is an emotional experience.
Yeah.
Like,
I
I
agree with
cried in my dress. Like, you don't come with the negativity then. Any other time, I would be
So
with you, Jordan.
when I got-
love an honest
She
script.
brought the wrong
When I got
people.
this script, Rufio, we were talking about, I was like, one thing we're definitely not going to cover is the uterus in this conversation. But
Well, you're
Felicia
on the
took it there.
jam,
But
so
Felicia
bring it.
got it to
Hey,
us.
we're talking 13 weeks of pregnancy.
From the bride's day to the groom's day, we go from Atlanta to the East Coast to New Jersey as Real Housewives of the Garden State headed to Bimini for Danielle's wedding. However, the men of the show, they wanted to have a talk with the groom before he heads down the aisle, getting real too. Take a listen.
Listen, last night's dinner, she's ripping you a new basically. Carry on about
Kids, you don't like
kids. That's up. It's disrespectful. Can't put up with that.
I'll tell you what, she's a challenge to me. I like challenges.
You're done.
See, now this one to me is even worse than what we saw in the last one. Now, when you throw in pregnancy, that is an entirely different thing. Marlo should have known better from the last clip. I agree with you wholeheartedly. But here you've got a guy who's getting married the next day, who's already chose this woman, and you're saying, hey, bro, she was saying some really negative-ish about your family the night before. You guys knew that this was who she is, so why not tell him earlier? It's too late almost at that point.
Just
It's
don't
definitely
say
too
anything.
late. You can voice your concerns early on, but once that person's decided to like spend their life with someone, you really can't say that much because they're always going to know that you think that, and they're still choosing to be with that person.
Yeah.
Once I wrote that deposit check, I don't want to hear any other words.
Yeah.
To me, it's more like a jealousy thing. I feel like those guys are jealous of the relationship that whoever's getting married there. And they're just like throwing shade real quick, be like, you know, it's not gonna work out. It's not gonna, you know, she's a horrible person. But I feel it's more of they're more envious of their relationship, and they're actually getting married and everything like that. So.
Yeah.
I just want to know, like, was it just a little shade, like a little complaint or something, or was it like full on, she's a bad person?
Yeah, I think
You
it's
know
too
what I
late
mean?
at that point to
There's
just
ways-
the day before.
Oh, you're saying
like,
it just doesn't matter.
Don't go to the wedding if you feel that way.
He also
Like,
was
don't
very
be there.
dismissive of it, laughing and said, you know, she's a challenge. And some guys, I used to be one of those, so I realized it's easier to have the easy person that goes with you and makes everything better rather than the challenge. And
Yeah.
look, I still have my challenges with my fiance, no question. But it sounds like he knows who she is, knows what's in front of him, knows that
into
maybe, he has no, I'm sure he's aware of this, I guess is my point.
Yeah.
They're not saying, hey, we caught her making out with a guy last night. They're saying,
Yeah.
she has some issues with your family. I'm sure they've covered that before, so I don't think this is that big of a deal, right?
Oh, that's another question. So if you find your fiance making out the night before the wedding, do you cancel the wedding? Like at a bachelor party.
So the like your
Don't be with
bros.
someone
Okay, never mind.
Don't
You
be with
guys
someone
got, like, you're asking rules or something. Let's just move on.
It's not cool.